Hello, my beautiful baddies. Welcome back to yet another episode of Your Inner Baddie Speaking. Sorry about my voice on this week's episode. I am tired from a weekend of travel, and I swear when I've been joyous and happy and laughing and just going over the top and not getting a lot of sleep, I sound like this. So you guys will just have to bear with me, but I promise you this is a great episode. It's one that from the moment I had the idea of doing it, it's one that really, is very near and dear to my heart, but at the same time, I just think is great awareness for people. This one is all about checking on your strong friend, and it's something that I feel like I've dealt with personally in the sense that I've grown up having to go through certain emotional turmoil. I've had to grow up dealing with things that definitely, impacted how I handle my emotions, and bringing that forward as an adult and bonding with friends and learning new dynamics and how I handled my emotions with friends was very interesting. I learned from a very early age that I needed to suppress my emotions in order to basically survive, I guess. I definitely dulled down what I was feeling so I could move forward, so I could be in that environment, so that I could just live, right? And a lot of you will definitely resonate with the fact that you don't always feel comfortable to feel the emotions that you're feeling, whether that be stuff that happened when you were younger, whether that be the people that you surround yourself. I mean, if you don't feel safe to feel your emotions, it can be very difficult to express them, or at least express them in front of those people. I very much was, and sometimes in the corporate world still am. I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm feeling like I'm gonna cry. Let me go do that in private. Let me wait until I could do it in private. Maybe I gotta go to the bathroom, aka I gotta go and cry. It can be like that sometimes if you don't feel comfortable in the environment you're in. And that's basically what I'm saying, that when I grew up, I didn't always feel comfortable sharing my emotions or having them in certain circumstances. I'm not saying I never had an emotion and I never showed an emotion, because my mom will tell you I definitely had emotions. Let's just be clear there. But there were a lot of times where I felt like I had to numb them, or I felt like I had to pretend I didn't feel the way that I did. And as I developed friendships, unfortunately, it's this weird crossover of you don't need to do it to survive with them, but you end up taking the things that you've learned and still doing them with other people. So I would have, friendships where it would take a lot for somebody to actually ask me if I was okay, because at that point, if it's that obvious, I felt like I wasn't numbing or holding myself back enough. And that's really unhealthy. I won't lie, I was not dealing with my emotions in a healthy way all of the time, because stuff bled over into my other worlds, right? And so if a friend would actually ask if I was okay, I must have been silent for a while. I must have it must have shown up on my face after a while, or I couldn't hold it back anymore. And that's not the right thing to do, obviously. But a lot of circumstances that I've been through have caused as well, and this is a whole other dynamic, not just me hiding my emotions, but also going through things and friends seeing you make it out the other side. And because if you're one like me to hide your emotions or not fully share them. Like, you might, a lot of the times if you hide your emotions, you might do this. Like, if somebody asks you, oh, like, you know, how have you been? And you've actually been really terrible. You've been like crying all day and night. You've been sad. You've been unable to, I don't know, like, be productive at work. All these other things, right? You've really been going through it. But you might say, oh, you know, it was really shitty. I couldn't concentrate last week. Do you see how that's not the same as crying all day and night, not being able to be productive, not being able to do things? It's like you reduce it down to what's going to be palatable for other people, what's going to say enough that you weren't necessarily having a good time, but not enough to have them ask questions or really dive into it or have to explain yourself further because you don't want to get into those emotions. That is another form of masking. So friends would see, okay, you might have gone through something, but they didn't have to check on you very often because they see that, oh, well, you handled it. Oh, well, you're strong. Oh, you got through that. And an example of that I've particularly gone through and have been told is going through my divorce. Like, some people that I met during the divorce or after well, not after, but like at the tail end of, like, I've met friends at the tail end of my divorce. So obviously I've gone through a lot of the upfront trauma and I'm not in the thick of it anymore. I'm still, you know, dealing with it, processing it, but I'm not in it anymore. And so at that time when I would meet people, like, I've literally had a friend where I've told all of the details of my divorce to, and they have literally said to me, I can't picture you in that because the person in front of me right now, you just don't seem like you went through that. You seem happy, you seem confident, you seem sure of yourself, you seem unbothered, you seem strong, you seem like you've made it through the other side. And the weird thing to hear that comment is both, if you're the strong friend and you resonate with this, you will understand that it feels twofold when you hear that type of shit. On one hand, you're like, damn, I am strong. Like, I made it out and you can barely even tell I went through that. Like, I am so strong. I'm so capable. I'm so amazing, right? Because I can go through that and you can't even tell. On the other side, I'm still feeling it. I went through so much. I cried, I yelled, I got angry, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't process things, I couldn't go through normal life. I had bouts of, it was almost like grief in certain ways where you'd have waves of it, where some days it would hit you so hard that you couldn't fathom getting out of it. And some days you felt, it's light. What I'm carrying is light and this is doable. But you still had those absolute break you to your knees moments. And certain people in my life can attest to that, because as I've gotten older, I have gotten better with sharing how I'm feeling. But still, to some people, that's how they perceive me. And so it's two sides of the same coin, right? Is that I can feel proud of how I handle things and feeling like people see me as someone who is strong. And then on the other side, I don't want to be fucking seen as strong. I want you to understand that I dragged myself from hell and back. Like, I was in the trenches. I didn't think that I could move forward. There were times where I couldn't get out of bed, that I was so paralyzed by what I was going through. And yet, to still be seen as, oh, well, you just got through it. And no, I in no way, shape, or form mean that the people who compliment you on your strength ever mean that as a negative. People who haven't gone through it and might not necessarily have ever been the person that has to be strong. They might be the person that leans on people, that asks for support, and that's all healthy. That's all very, very healthy. They don't understand it, so they don't understand that that can be taken the wrong way. And throughout my life, I've had several experiences where people have not checked on me, despite going through it. And much of that is to my own fault. The detriment of being the strong friend is that you put on that strong friend persona, or you make sure that you come across as strong because you downplay your feelings, you hide your feelings, you don't let people understand what you go through behind closed doors. And some friends do see it. You do let them know. Sometimes because you just can't be strong anymore. Sometimes you do collapse, and it's like a revelation for that friend of, oh my God, I've never seen them like this. I've never seen you need help. I've never seen you not be able to go through it and come out the other side. I've never seen you at your worst, because you might not let them. And because it's twofold of people not asking, but also from the actual person who's going through those emotions, not fully making people aware, it's both sides that have to come forward a bit, right? And make progress. So it's not one way or the other, but this is all about, if you have that friend who's always like, oh yeah, it's fine. Oh yeah, it's good. Oh no, I'm okay. Oh no, yeah, I went through this really traumatic thing, but I'm fine. Or makes jokes out of it. That's another huge thing that you can tell that that person has always had to be strong if they make jokes out of their pain. If they are saying, whatever they are saying gets to the point, but makes a joke of it. Like, let's say going through my divorce when I was at my lowest, and somebody would ask me like, oh, how's it going with the divorce? And let's say I was hiding it, right? I might make a joke of, oh yeah, like he decided he didn't want me anymore, and I'm completely having to relearn what my future looks like. But it's fine because everybody's got their shit. Or makes a joke, and then suddenly I'm laughing to get you to laugh, to distract you from the fact that I'm actually in pain. So humor can be a way to distract, to make light of what's actually going on. And in that joke, listen to it next time if your friend typically does this. Listen to it, because they will actually tell you in that joke how horrible it is, but then at the end, they'll switch it and laugh. So they're actually admitting to you how bad it is, but then they're going to mask it with a laugh, because once you start laughing, you're not going to actually dive into what they said. You're like, oh, they made a joke. Oh, haha, it can't be that bad if they're joking about it. But actually it is that bad. So if you have a friend that jokes about it, masks it, goes through really difficult things and tries to make light of it, doesn't fully give you context, try checking on them. And don't necessarily do it if they do make light of it, if they make a joke, if they don't go into it, if they're masking it, but you can tell they've been going through some stuff, or they say that they've been going through some stuff, or they allude to the fact that it's a stressful or tough time. Ask in the moment, try to pry a little bit more. Be like, oh no, but you're going through a breakup. That's actually really tough. And see how they respond. They might open up a bit more if you pry. That has been a very big downfall of me, is that if somebody didn't pry, I would just leave it alone. And then I might in my mind be like, oh, well, they didn't really care because they didn't really ask any more questions. But at the same time, I didn't allow them to understand the depth of it. So I'm not putting fault on anybody, but I'm also saying that, like, if that is your friend, it can come across to them as you didn't care enough to follow through, to ask. So in the moment, if you feel like, ooh, that sounds like, they're going through a breakup, they're going through a divorce, they're going through losing a job, they're going through a tough time, but they're not allowing you in, try to let them feel comfortable enough to allow you in. And if you don't, bury sighting for those who are watching the YouTube. Got lucky that she joined today. But going back to it, if you can't get them to open up while you are with them and while they are talking about it up front, check on them later. Like, maybe send a text the next day. Hey, how are you doing? Like, I know you mentioned losing your job and that, like, you're applying to stuff, but I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. That, I'm telling you right there, means the absolute world to a friend who's used to having to be strong, because I guarantee you it's far and few between the number of people who will dig, the number of people who will follow up, the number of people that they have felt throughout their life care enough to check on them. Because again, they have this perception of, oh, they're the strong one. They just get through it. They'll always be okay. So I don't need to check on them because they're always okay. They're always good. They always get through it. They're always happy at the end of the day. But I don't think that everybody who has that type of friend understands what goes through. It's like an iceberg. You see the tip, right? Like, you see that they made it out, or you see them smiling after they've gone through the entire iceberg of emotion, of whatever shame they felt, whatever pain they felt, whatever tears they've cried, whatever times they've isolated themselves because they didn't feel like they could be in public or around people while they were feeling this. All of the arguments, all of the internal arguments that they went through. I mean, there's so much that you don't see that gets them to that teeny part that you see, which is them smiling at brunch, or them, succeeding in their job. Two things can be true of, yes, they always make it out, they succeed, you might see them, out and about at a happy hour, happy as can be, posting on their stories. Or you might see them, getting a promotion at work. But what you don't see is what the pain actually made them go through. The pain that they carried alone sometimes. Sometimes they have a few people that they will let in, but a lot of the time they do this alone. So you don't see all of the pain they carried alone to be able to get that smile back, to be able to perform at work, to be able to be functional at all. I mean, it's wild sometimes how much you don't understand that a person has gone through to get to where they are. Going back to my friend being like, I can't picture you going through all of the things that you are telling me right now, because what I see in front of me is someone who looks so happy they could never have carried that pain. And that's what's so jarring, right? That's what's so crazy about it, is that you can see someone in front of you who is strong, who did get themselves through it. But the whole point of checking on your strong friend is so that you can be a part of breaking that. You can be a part of changing that. You can be a part of letting them know they do not have to do it alone. that they have someone to rely on, that they have someone they can open up to, they have someone they can lean on. Because I'll tell you, 10 times out of 10, when I was going through it and I felt like I couldn't let anybody through, I couldn't let anybody in, I couldn't let anybody know, I needed people the most then. And that's one of the things that I have spent so much time in therapy going through, is understanding that it's okay to ask for help, to lean on someone for support, to take someone up on their offer to help me, to let someone in enough that they know that I might need help. I mean, to the point where, and I guarantee you, if you have a friend like this and they ever admit it to you, or you end up checking on them more and they might admit to you that this has happened, I guarantee you they've been just like me, where I have had my phone in my hand. I am tears down my face. I know I need help. I know I need someone to talk to. I know I need someone to tell me it's going to be okay. And they're not in front of me. And I have my phone in my hands. The number of texts I've written out and deleted, the number of texts I've written out and never sent, the amount of calls that I have been right on that contact, but I've never hit like send call or like dial. I've never dialed their actual number. The number of times that has happened and I haven't gone through with it is wild. I mean, I honestly, at this point, because I have learned how to let people understand that yes, I can get through things, and yes, I am strong, but I still need help. I still need someone to lean on when I'm going through painful times. I would be embarrassed probably at the number of times I wanted to reach out and didn't. Because now I would be embarrassed. Not that I should feel embarrassed, but I would feel embarrassed in the sense that I would want to like shake myself and be like, it's okay. It's okay to call them. It's okay to text them. It's okay to reach out. I guarantee you, your friends want to help you. If you have a good support system, they want to help you through these things. They don't want you to suffer in silence. They want you to lean on them. The number of friends that when I've told after the fact, you should have called me, I wish you had, I wish I could have been there for you. I've had that. They want to. But because you feel like from whatever happened in your life that you had to numb your emotions, fake your emotions, pretend a lot of the time in order to just get through to the next day, and that bled over into other things, that impacts whether you feel like you can have help. And it also impacts people asking if you need help, or just in general asking, hey, actually, you mentioned you were going through a breakup. I know you said you were doing okay, but like, are you actually? You hold people back because you're not allowing them to know you at your fullest, right? You're not allowing them in. And they won't know to check on you unless you allude to the fact that you need to be checked on. So it's a two-way street for sure. This episode is both about if you are that person, if you are that friend who does that, try whatever way it may be. If you are crying and you've typed out that text but you don't want to hit send, fucking hit send and throw the phone. It's just like texting somebody you got a crush on. Throw that phone. Don't worry about whether you're going to get a response. Send it, because I guarantee you the person on the other end wants to be there. And same with if you have a friend and you're on the other side. If you have a friend who always appears strong, who always appears like they have their shit handled. You're like, I never need to check on them because they're always good. That's exactly the friend you need to check on. I can't emphasize that enough. If you feel like you never have to check on them, because they're always put together, they're always doing well in life, they're always seem like they're happy, that's the person you absolutely need to check on. I guarantee you they're hiding something from the world, and it's most likely pain. Those are the people that need to be checked on, because they might not tell you. They might also think, this is a thing that I've gone through with being, the strong person, is I've acted like big things that happen to me are minuscule. I've acted like, oh, it's not a big deal. Because to me, I've had to go through so much that it feels like it's not a big deal. It doesn't feel like emotional abuse or physical abuse. So like, oh, it's okay, I can just deal with it. Again, not healthy, because I need help. Because it's probably bigger than I'm saying. I'll never forget the first time I really went to therapy, and there was an exercise that she asked me to do, which was to write down my accomplishments. And this is the other side of the coin, because this is exactly telling of how I perceive things. So it's exactly how I perceive my pain too. So it was write down a list of your accomplishments, right? So I'm sitting there for 10 minutes. I think I've written one thing down on the page. And she finally cuts it off, and she goes, okay, read me what you've come up with. I read one or two things, right? And she proceeds to list out 15 things I didn't even see as accomplishments. I just thought as things I had to do, things I had to overcome, things they felt like they had to be accomplished, so I didn't give myself accolades for accomplishing them. Same way I viewed my pain. I didn't see them as big enough. I saw them as things I just had to get through, had to get over, so I don't give myself the credit of getting over them or getting through it. So a lot of the times when you downplay things to your friends, and this is why it's hard for friends to know to check on you, because you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going through a divorce and I'm going through the absolute worst time in my life, but I saw a rainbow the other day, so things are looking up. That would be how much you downplay it, to joke about it, to make it seem smaller than it is. So of course a friend's not going to think, oh my god, they're really going through it, because they're like, this motherfucker's joking, this motherfucker's downplaying it. But downplaying it is a root of being strong, being not able to let people in. And strength can very much be confused with hyper independence, that you feel like you have to do it all on your own. It's very much confused. Anytime I hear somebody called strong, I'm wondering how much they go through, how much they feel like they have to carry the weight of the world without letting anyone know that they carry that weight. And it's sad to me. It's sad to me when I hear someone say that, oh, they're strong, they always make it, they always get through it, because I know what they're likely going through. I know how lonely or isolated they may feel when they are going through those things. So twofold. If you're that strong friend that people refer to you as strong, you're always got your shit together, try to let people in. Maybe don't joke about it, or joke about it and then actually say, but you know what? It's actually been hell. If someone asks you how you're feeling, maybe be more honest. And same on the other side. If you have a friend that you don't think you need to check on, or you think is always strong, check on them. If they allude to being in pain, but they make a joke, they make light of it, you feel like they're telling you without telling you, check on them, whether it be in that moment or afterwards, just to see. Because even if they don't let you in that first time, keep doing it. Because I guarantee you it means so much to them. to the point where you can be the reason why they end up opening up, why they end up trusting people, a reason why they let people in. And on both sides, I just want you to know that it's okay to ask, receive, and be the help that somebody needs. So if there's something you take away from this, please open up more or check on your strong friend. Just check in. Even if you feel like it might be pointless, I guarantee you it's not pointless. It's going to mean so much more than you think it's going to. All right, guys, with that, say it with me. I'm a fucking baddie. All right. Love y'all till next time.